Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're going to be talking about the report coming from Jake Fisher and Mark Stein of the Stein Line Substack that the Suns, even though they have no intentions of trading Kevin Durant, they are listening at the very least to various teams' pitches for the 35-year-old legend. It makes sense. If you're willing to give us a Godfather offer, why the heck not? They got nothing to lose, and that's the biggest thing to me. Is if you're a fan of the Suns, would you trade Kevin Durant? They're allegedly as well, Mark Stein and Jake Fisher are reporting that if they were to engage in the conversation with the Warriors, they are interested in Jonathan Kuminga, as they are coveting in any return draft capital and highly rated young talent like Jonathan Kuminga. Now, we're going to first talk about why would they trade Kevin Durant. I think it comes down to if somebody they like, somebody they believe is available, that's going to allow them to be better or just to maintain where they're at while still being competitive or flexible with their future. The idea is Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and probably Kevon Looney and Gary Payton. Right there, that's 17 with Gary Payton and Kevon. Then you add 26 from Mr. Big Ol' Wiggins and 17 from, or not 17, 7 from Jonathan Kuminga, brings you to $50 or $51 million, which is Kevin Durant's making 51.1. So the salary's there if you needed to make it match. I think the biggest thing is people are just trying to see, like, is it worth it? Because what are the other deals you're listening to? What other teams are offering you trade packages for Kevin Durant? One could only assume that it's somebody like the Timberwolves, but the Timberwolves really don't have the draft assets, because the only deal you think it would be centered around Julius Randle. Now, outside of that, you'd think the Bucks would love to do it, but what are the Bucks going to offer you in terms of assets? They don't have any, and I think Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, and Pat Connaughton is not moving the needle for anybody. And we know the Suns are very, very desperate or very set on acquiring Jimmy Butler somehow. To me, that's where everything starts to get interesting. You start to try to figure out how would they get that to work. And to me, I think that's the most interesting part in all of this is you look at this and you try to figure out, why would the Suns want to trade Kevin Durant? And to me, unless you get the Holy Grail offer that we'll talk later in the video of Durant being traded and LeBron James being traded to the Warriors, and you get yourself compensated with players from both sides, it would not blow my mind if you go ahead and do it, because in whatever deal it is, it's going to be a combination of probably Kuminga, Wiggins, maybe B-Pod as well, definitely Kevon Looney, Buddy Hield, Gary Payton II. Draymond Green's going to have to go somewhere. Obviously, half of those salaries are all going to have to end up, and the Lakers will be trading like Jackson Hayes, Cam Reddish, Gabe Vincent if they wanted to. Like, there's a bunch of salaries that both teams have to play with, so I don't think it's out of the realm for this to happen. That's where I think it's definitely interesting. But not use as much CPU. So we're going to go ahead and put the Warriors, Lakers, and Suns all into the trade machine just to visualize. By the way, Fanspo has added updated second apron and first apron salary cap stuff, so I'm back to using them. I was using Spot Rack for a little bit, or Spot Track. I really don't know how you're supposed to say it. But the obvious assumption, this is almost $100 million in salary they would be taking on, right? Yeah, $99.9 million in salary, which is absolutely insane to think about. All right. So I'd have to assume if you're the Suns, you're trading a wing, so to the Wiggins to the Suns. Green, if he is traded in this scenario, because the money, it's the Lakers, they need a big guy. I guess Gary Payton goes to the Suns in this scenario, and Kyle Anderson, Lakers need front court help. Buddy Hield would stay, and the Suns would want Kuminga, they said, and Buddy Hield maybe to the Lakers as well. And I think this actually can happen right here. Is this the money that, in terms of everything? So they still have to remove almost $15 million to make this deal possible, which both teams combined have about $15 million that they could take on. I thought we had added Kevon, but I think the Lakers would want Kevon. And then like we're still like a few million short, which would again have to lead to you including random contracts and salaries that make absolutely no sense on how they would get this done, because we've already and looking at like how the team's been split up. Okay, Lindy Waters goes to the Suns, Guy Santos to the Lakers. Like, there you go. And I think that should allow you to do the deal. Now, you're still not able to do the deal because now the Lakers are over $900,000. So can we take off Guy Santos and get this deal done? Okay, so Guy would have to go to the Suns. So in this deal, to get this done, you would have to... Wow. So even if we send Guy Santos over there, the Lakers would still have to cut. Obviously, they need six. They'd have to sign a bunch of players, but to do this deal, who's a minimum contract? Cam Reddish right here to the Warriors. And what other minimum contracts? I guess in this scenario, Bronny James would have to be traded to the Warriors because they wouldn't want that Bronny just get left there. Yeah, there you go. That's your insane trade that would have to go down if this were to be Suns walk away with Wiggins, Gary Payton, Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podojemski, Lindy Waters, Guy Santos, and then Draymond Green, Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield, and Kevon Looney all end up in Los Angeles with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, and Bronny James ending up in Golden State. That's before we even start talking draft picks. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. This is ridiculous, right? Isn't it? I personally think it's preposterous. I think what was going to happen. And so wild stuff. Did this just freeze the recording?